Hello, friends, and welcome back to my podcast, the Sasha Davis Podcast. This is my podcast. This is where I share my thoughts, my feelings, all the things. And today you're catching me in the car. I am on my way to yet another customer pickup. Oh, the world we live in today. And which brings me to what I want to talk about today, and that's change and pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, okay? I think so many of us are sitting on the fence because we're like, oh, when things get back to normal, when things get back to normal, when things get back to normal. And so I want you to just think about this. What if things do not go back to normal? What if this is the new normal? What are you going to do about it? A lot of people are like freaking out, and a lot of people feel really stressed. A lot of people feel really anxious. A lot of people are like, I don't know what to do. And that's okay. Like, I mean, shit, there's things at times like I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't want to look back and be like, wow, I wasted a lot of time doing nothing, not figuring out what to do next. And so the one constant in life is change. Yesterday was different than today, which is different than tomorrow, which is going to be different from the next day. And if your days don't change, that's probably where you feel stuck in a rut, where you're like, wow, I feel like Groundhog's Day. Every day is the same. I feel really stuck. Or if you're in this place where you're like, oh, I'm just waiting for things to go back to normal. I want you to challenge yourself to think outside of the box that you are putting yourself in. Okay? Because you're going to continue to feel stuck. You're going to continue to feel anxious and uncertain about the future if you don't actually do something about it today. Whether that's just change your thoughts and beliefs around what you're doing on a day-to-day, or whether you actually change your actions throughout your day. Each situation can be perceived very differently depending on the mindset of a person. So we can both look at a rainy day, and one of you may be like, wow, today it's raining. Today really sucks. We can't do anything. Whereas when it rains for me, I'm like, yes, my grass is going to finally turn green again, and my garden's going to get some extra watering. Like, let it freaking rain. My pasture might not be a burnt frickin' dry lot now. Like, I get excited for those things. And so you always try to find the bright side. And not saying that, like, to get stuck in the positivity trap, because that too can be a trap if you just constantly focus on positivity and never, like, I want you to recognize and be aware of your surroundings. I want you to be aware of the negative stuff. But I also want you to shift your mindset to something that feels better. And it doesn't have to be the complete opposite. I just want you to choose a better feeling thought, or like have a little bit of grace with yourself, right? But my question for you today is, what are you going to do to get unstuck from your day-to-day mundane Groundhog's Day of a life? Okay? How are you going to feel when you are in, your quote unquote retirement age? Because this is what everybody says. Like, oh, when I get to retirement, I'll be able to enjoy my life. Dude, 3/4 of your life is fucking over. You're telling me that we're only supposed to enjoy the last quarter of our life? Like, no, thank you. I want to enjoy every single moment. And I never want to be older and look back and be like, wow, I wish I would have just done the thing, which I still have regrets. I mean, shit, there's times where I look at people, I get caught in the comparison. I look at like somebody else's success, or I look at somebody else's like adventures, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have done that. Like, things that I think about is, I wanted to be a Marine for a really long time, but turns out you can't have a record and be a Marine, or at least you can't be on probation. I did a lot of really stupid shit, you guys. That's why I'm telling you these things, because I'm not perfect, and I'm just telling you that you can bounce back and be whatever you want as long as you set your mind to it and you don't limit yourself by your own negative limiting beliefs, okay? And so this is the next thing that I want to ask you is, what if things never go back to quote unquote normal? What if this is the new normal? How are you going to adapt? How are you going to learn and grow from this? And that's where the people who have practiced personal development, those are the people who have the skills, the mindset skills to evolve into the next phase of this world. And those who can't will remain stuck. And that's where you start to experience physical, emotional, mental illnesses, essentially. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but like, you start to physically feel bad if you can't change things. Like anxiety, like you can feel that. Depression, you can feel that. So if you don't start to shift the way that you think about things now and just take change as like a constant in life, because things are always changing, you guys. Like, what if your house burnt down tomorrow? What would you do? You would have to figure out a way to change and adapt. Yeah, that would really suck. Is it the end of the world? No. Maybe you think it's the end of the world, but it's not. Those are all just material things. You can build a new house. You can't build a new family, right? So as long as like you guys are safe, it's the same thing in your life. Like all of this material shit that's around you, like why do you want it? What are you really after? You're really after a feeling. And sometimes in order to get that feeling, like me, the feeling, and this is something that I've learned about myself, which you guys probably already know, but whatever. Sometimes it's hard for us to see our own shit. I've learned that I constantly seek like adrenaline. Like I'm always like, what's next? I love that like feeling of adrenaline pulsing through my veins. So I always try to push myself outside my comfort zone, because I crave that adrenaline. And I think it's probably that addictive personality that I have. It's that challenger personality that I have. I'm always like, I wonder how far I can go. It's like in my brain, I'm like, can I defy death? Can I jump out of this plane and not die? Can I write this post, or can I post this thing on Instagram and not die? Or can I don't know, light this thing on fire and not die? Can I don't know. I'm just always constantly like pushing the limits. And it's very interesting because even though we feel like we're going to die, we're really not going to die. And this is what brings me to my next thing is we're going to talk about money. I've been having a lot of conversations with people lately, and they're around money, okay? Like money mindset, how to create money, how to stop spending so much money, how to know where to intentionally put your money. And I didn't realize how much of a lack money mindset women have, specifically women. Men are like, money is fucking awesome. Well, not all of them. Sometimes people are scared by money, but I'm just saying in general, women fear money. Like I literally did a poll the other day and I asked a few like close friends and family. I was like, so how do you, like, if I say money is, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And I did a little Instagram video on this too, and it was very interesting to see how many people have negative beliefs around money. And so I just want you to constantly challenge your beliefs and ask yourself, does this belief serve me? Does this belief feel good? And if it doesn't, you need different beliefs, right? It's just like friends. Like if you felt anxious or scared or worried about your friends, or if you thought your friends were shit bags, or if you thought your friends just were, what was the one? Money is the root of all evil. If you thought your friends were the root of all evil, do you think that you would hang around those friends anymore? No. I want you to get new beliefs, okay? So how do you start to rewire your brain into thinking things that are positive and that are going to be helpful to you? And I'm not saying like, oh, money is everywhere and I just love money. I don't mean that. I want you just to stop putting money on a freaking pedestal, because money is just energy. Like it's constantly flowing. Like let it flow. Let it flow in and out of your life. Do not let it control you, because the more you try to control something, the more control it has over you, which I'm going to sidetrack here. This is one thing that I tend to work with a lot of my clients on, is they want to control everybody else, right? They don't want to forgive people. They want to hang on to that fear and that anger and that resentment. And I'm telling you, that stuff that you're trying to control, ends up controlling you. You are not in control. And it's this vicious cycle where you like try to control things, but you're not really in control of things. So I want you to just be aware that the only thing that you can really control is how you think, act, and feel about something. You can control your belief system. You can control what thoughts go through your head, and you can control how you feel about a particular situation, which just leads me right back to the rainy day, right? We can all experience a rainy day. How you think about that rainy day will show up in your entire life. So if you think that like everything is shit and you're like scared of money and you're like hate rainy days, like what kind of mindset is that? Is that empowering? Absolutely not. And that's what I'm here to do. Sorry to get like on my high horse, but I'm just a really high energy person. You guys obviously wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't want somebody who was high energy and like in your face. You wouldn't be listening to me. So I just want to share with you, like, those thoughts are not empowering. How does that feel? Reality check, you guys. No wonder you don't feel empowered or courageous or confident, because look at your thoughts. Are your thoughts empowering or courageous or confident? Fuck no. Reality check. Your thoughts are things, and things manifest in your life based on your thoughts. So if you have thoughts that are always looking at the shit side, if you have thoughts that always have messed up beliefs about money, if you fear change, if you fear being in your comfort zone, no wonder you're stuck. No wonder you're stuck. You can read every personal development book under the sun, but until you get some accountability and fucking show up for yourself, nothing is going to happen in your life. You're going to continue to beat your head against a wall until one day the pain is enough for you to be like, wow, I need help. I need to make a change. How am I going to do this? And a lot of times this is where people will find mentors. This is where I found a mentor, because I got to like the ceiling and I'm like, I don't know what to do next. I have tried all the things. And sometimes we get so wrapped up in our problem, we get too close to the problem that we can't see the problem. We can't see it. We're too close. It's like if you write the answer on a piece of paper, okay? You ask me a question, I write it on a piece of paper, and I shove it directly in your face. It's so close you cannot read the print, right? But if I take that same piece of paper and I take a few steps back and say, hey, look here, do this thing, you can see it clearly, okay? So sometimes you just get too close to the problem and you need a helping hand to take a step back, get out of your own head, get out of your own ego, stop letting your ego run the show, and say, what would my highest self show up like? How can I support the highest version of myself? And this is another thing that I see in women where they are lacking. And I know this because I was that person. I did not want to ask for help. One, I was too much of a sucker. I had too much pride. I was always like, nope, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it on my own. And that's why I have so many life experiences, is because I've done a lot of really stupid shit, because I've done a lot of really stupid things on my own that led me down paths where it wasn't necessarily the right answer, you know? And then the other thing is I was scared to ask for help. Like, I got myself into a lot of really sticky situations that I didn't want to like burden somebody else. I didn't want to waste somebody else's time. And I didn't want them wasting their time on me. Like, I knew at that time, like, I felt like a fuck up, and I'm like, why would anybody want to waste their time helping me? Like, I just need to suffer through life. And the truth is, you do not need to suffer. Nobody on this planet needs to suffer. And I think that that's what is so deeply rooted in women now, is that we have to suffer. We have to suffer in silence. And that's so beyond bullshit. We do not have to suffer in silence. And we are powerful in numbers. That just gives me like goosebumps even saying it. And like, I have experienced that when you get a bunch of women together who are on the same wavelength, they are fucking unstoppable, man. Like, the energy and the momentum, it just builds and builds and builds. And it's like a safe space to like share all the things that are in your head that you're like, I can't even believe that I'm saying this. You know, like, it feels good to say those things in a group of people and they all look at you and go, oh my God, me too. Me too. And it's so empowering and it's so beautiful. And we just don't allow ourselves to accept the help. We don't allow ourselves to accept love. We don't allow ourselves to accept our worth. We don't allow ourselves to learn and grow. And we don't allow ourselves to put ourselves first. Why is that? Deep down, I think it's part of the the mothering. It's the nurturing side of us. You know, you have a baby and you want to feed the baby and you want to help everybody and you're just constantly putting yourself first. But if you do not stop to feed yourself, if you do not stop to take your own breath, if you do not stop to recharge your own damn battery, you're going to be running on E, and eventually you're going to shut down and you're going to start seeing issues arise in your life: physical, mental, emotional, relationship, money, all of them. You're going to have areas in your life where you start to see things that are not so pleasant. Okay? This is all entwined. It's all the same thing. We can have the same conversation. I don't care if we're talking about health. I don't care if we're talking about business or money or relationships or mothering or drinking your freaking water or like energy work and healing and all of these things. They are all entwined. They are all from an energy source, a vibration, and everybody just has the intention to show up the best they can with what they have, and when they know better, they want to do better, and they want best for themselves and their family and their neighbors. I have not met somebody who does not want, I've not met anybody personally, I should say, that does not want better for the human race or for beings in general or for humanity or for this world, for this universe. I have not met somebody that was like, well, fuck it all to hell. I have yet to meet somebody that says that. And so just know that we are all in this together. And when we are together, we are stronger in numbers. Together we rise. I don't know who says that. I think it's in like the Rising Women's Sisterhood or something like that. Or there's a book out there that talks about Together We Rise. And I was just like, damn, like she is speaking to me. So now that I've, chatted your ear off about that, I want you to sit down and really ask yourself, like, what happens if things don't change? Like, do I have the support that I need in my life to create the changes that I wish to make? And if the answer is no, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Are you just going to sit there like a bump on a log and be like, oh, well, if I just think about it, maybe it will manifest? Well, no, because you have a shit ton of resistance around it. It's not just going to happen for you. Okay. So I want you to know that you are loved and you are supported, but you also have to ask for what you need. People cannot read your mind. Your husband can't read your mind. Your spouse can't read your mind. Your partner can't read your mind. Your family can't read your mind. Your kids can't read your mind. Your boss can't read your mind. You have to be confident and brave enough to stand up for what it is that you want to create in your life. Nobody cares more about your life than you. So again, what are you going to do about it? If things aren't working in one area of your life, what are you going to do about it? Don't just sit there and think about all the things that are going to go wrong. Go out there and find the tools, the resources, and the support you need to make it what you want it to be. And the sky's the limit, guys. The sky is the limit. If you can think it, you can do it. Everything on this planet was once a thought. Everything that you see right now, look around you. Look around you. Wherever you're at, look around you. Everything that you see was once a thought. Think about it. So why are your thoughts any different? They're not. If you can think it, it is possible. And if you feel limited by the people around you, which I did, people called me crazy. They said I was batshit crazy, and that's not possible. And even my husband to this day, he'll probably kill me if he hears this, but I was just having a conversation with him the other day. And this is the challenger in me. I'm an Enneagram number 8. I'm a challenger. I'm always questioning things. Okay. We were talking about school, and I won't get into details. But anyways, there are some school policies, and thank God my kids aren't in school yet. That's all I can say. I appreciate you teachers more than you know, but I question some of the upper management who makes your guys' rules. So just know that the teachers, I have your back. People who make the rules, what in the actual fuck? Like, take a step back, put yourself in a student's shoes and ask yourself, is this possible? Anyways, back on track. So me and my husband were talking, and he literally said to me, I'm not going to quote it, pretty much this: why can't you just do things the easy way? Why do you always have to pave your own path? And I was just like, excuse me? I only question things that don't make sense to me. And if they don't make sense, I do not just stand for, well, that's the way things have always been. That doesn't sit well with me. It never has. It never will. I need to know the why. Why did we create these rules? Who created these rules? Because a lot of times rules are created by people who have not walked a mile in the shoes that they've created them for. Talk about getting under my skin. And so I just want you to question more things. If something doesn't feel right to you, or if something's not working, ask yourself why. Ask somebody else why. Ask somebody else, like, if this was you, what would you do? Just start asking more questions. Let yourself have the space to daydream and think about possibility. And just know that, like, change is inevitable. So why not make change that works for you? You are in control of you. So why not make it work for you? You don't have to just sit there and watch the world pass by and be like, well, our world's in a pandemic, so I'm just going to sit here and not do anything until it goes back to normal. What if it doesn't? Wouldn't you rather be one of the game changers that's out in the lead and being like, hey man, I'm not waiting for shit to like settle down? And I'm not saying like go out there and like break all the rules, but I'm saying like if you want to start a business, or you want to start that fitness journey, or if you want to join that coaching program, or if you want to launch that retreat, like modify based on whatever's happening in the world. But you do not have to sit and wait around for something else to happen in order to take control of your life. That's what I'm saying here. And if you feel like this speaks to you, I highly, 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 highly encourage you to send me an email or send me a message on Instagram, and I want to have a conversation with you. I want to help you create the support you need in your life. And maybe that's me. Actually, I've had a lot of inquiries about when my next group program is going to start, and I finally feel like it feels right. I'm all about like how things feel, and it feels right. So I was doing I have been doing just one-on-one calls kind of behind the scenes. Actually, I know quite a few of my listeners, you guys are doing one-on-one calls with me. So if that's something you're interested in, you can head on over to sashadavis.com. There is a coaching call tab there. Otherwise, you can scroll down into the show notes. There will also be a link for you to book a one-on-one call with me. But if you feel like you need support, if you need support in terms of group, if you need structure, if you need accountability, if these are things that you need in your life, and for whatever reason, like you feel called or you feel drawn to me, I really encourage you to just send me a message and let's have a conversation. No strings attached. I'm going to be relaunching a group program this September, and I would love, love, love to help you guys create the life you want to be living. I would love to help you get out of your own way and make it happen. Make it happen now. Like, you don't need to wait. If you want to make more money, let's make it happen. If you want to start that business, let's make it happen. If you want to find your passion and your purpose, let's make it happen. Let's make it freaking happen, okay? So send me a message on Instagram, sasha.davis, or send me an email, support@sashadavis.com, and we'll just start the conversation, okay? It's free to start a conversation, and you are worthy. You are not wasting my time. Get that out of your head. If you even think that right now, slap yourself. You are worthy. You are worthy of my time. You are worthy of your time. You can make the changes that you want to make in your life. You just need the right support to get there. You have it within you. I hope you feel good after listening to all of this. I feel good saying it. Sometimes I feel like I can get a little preachy, but I just want you to know that like you are worthy. And if you're thinking of doing something, just do it. It's better to try and fail than to not try at all. And I know it can be scary. But I'm going to tell you, it's not life or death. It's not life or death. Actually, it is life or death. Because I don't want you to get to your deathbed and be like, wow, I wish I would have lived more. That would really suck. Live now. Live today. Your life is happening right before your eyes. Don't let it pass you by. All right, guys. I hope you have a kick-ass day. And I'll catch you next time.